Hello guys! Finally saw a movie in theaters. Nosferatu, the newest one. I did watch the two older ones, the silent film and the '70s one. Those haven't been. I haven't reviewed those yet. Those will probably come sometime this year whenever I get an extra 15-20 minutes to like do a couple videos on that. Those would be Fen recommend stuff, um, but I'm going to talk about this one here just because this one came out, technically this came out in 2024, just Christmas Day. Now, sometimes, and this has happened before, where a couple times before, where I see a movie that was released last year, like very late in December, but they're still playing in January. So they're kind of in that weird categorization of things. But yeah, I saw it this month, and this was and I saw the older two movies in preparation for seeing this, and this is a really good movie. It came out, of course, like I said, 2024. It's rated R. It's 2 hours and 12 minutes long. It has 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb with about 87,000 ish user votes. It has 78% on Metacritic with 323 critics. It's directed by Robert Eggers, who also did The Northman. It stars Lily Rose Depp, who was also in, shoot, wrong button. Pop up. There we go. Tech. All right, there we go. We also did The King, and then it also stars Nicholas Hoult, who was in some of the X-Men movies. On Rotten Tomatoes, the movie has 85% by critic with 325 critics and 73% by audience people with 5,000 ish audience people. The critics' consensus is marvelously orchestrated by director Robert Eggers. Nosferatu is a behemoth of a horror film that is equal parts repulsive and seductive. No critics' consensus, weirdly enough, but the movie I think is technically still in theaters. Um, So, in comparison, and this is something that I'm gonna bring up in the other reviews I do of the two Nosferatu movies. The original classic Nosferatu had, and the one from '79, those two specifically, they technically had higher marks on the Rotten Tomato scale. I won't get into specifics on it, but I gotta say this: out of all of them, this one's personally probably my favorite, and I'm gonna say why, because those first two films, um, even more so with the '79 one than the silent film one, I just feel like there's just moments where they needed to spell things out a little bit and they don't, and I think it can hurt the film a little bit. This film does an excellent job of of explaining shit without feeling like an NPC character in a video game giving you instructions on how to do a level. Like this film is like really good at letting you breathe into this world without feeling lost and confused, and that can happen with those other two films a little bit more so. I think a little bit more so with the '79 one, because the '79 one does kind of go for more of the trippier aspects. Now this film gets trippy too, but you never feel lost in the trippiness. It's balanced out. So basically, the funny thing about the Nosferatu movies, um, and I'm sorry, I'm going to talk of them in general because they kind of have a legacy a little bit. Because the original intent of Nosferatu was to do Dracula without violating the rights of getting the book Dracula. Like I'm talking about the silent film one. I'll talk more about that when I review that one. But basically, it didn't work, and the film was almost destroyed because of legal issues, but it survived. And over time, it's anytime it's been done, it's always leaned to more the trippier aspects of the Dracula story. It's kind of the throw. It's like if you're in a mood for Dracula, but not complete Dracula. That's kind of what Nosferatu is. And this film, and Robert Eggers directing it, it's a great fit because he's great at directing. He's very great at directing trippy films without making you feel like a freaking idiot for not getting it 100% of the time. Because some films get trippy, but then you feel kind of guilty because you're not getting it because you feel like you should, but you're not. His films do a great job of letting you enjoy the trippiness without the cons of trippiness, too much trippiness. And this film is not an exception to that. This is a great film. It's shot well. It's great horror. In all honesty, like this is probably one of the better horror films I've seen in theaters. Because in all honesty, the intensity is great. The atmosphere is great. It did get an audible gasp or two out of me, not because I was startled or scared, just because of it does a great job of building dread, and that is a great thing to have in a movie like this. I think a lot. From what I heard, there are some people complain that they feel like it wasn't scary enough or something like that. I don't know. I mean, let's be honest here. Like horror movies typically aren't going to be that scary. Like if you're a grown ass adult, you're not getting scared by horror movies because anyone who loves horror movies aren't scared by horror movies. They're really not. Now Robert Eggers, and that's on a side now. Now Robert Eggers, I know he doesn't have. I know not everyone loves his work. I know some people don't care for his work. Overall, he gets more love than hate. But the people that don't like his work, they're kind of vocal about it, and I get it. His work is a little different, but I think what I love about his stuff, and especially him doing Nosferatu, I think because I watched those two movies, and it was so refreshing to watch a Nosferatu movie where I didn't feel confused at some point in the story. um. But what's another thing? But yeah, I think, but it's funny because this Nosferatu does look a little different. But I gotta be honest, I think everyone's talking about the mustache. It's not a secret, but to be honest, I actually like the mustache. Because the idea is. And I read about this. The idea in the movie was he was a former nobleman in that area, and all noblemen back then wore facial hair. And at the beginning, it's like he has to have facial hair. He has to have like something there. And to be honest, the mustache makes the best sense if you're gonna do it. Like I think, and having have a little hair on top was good too. But the thing is that even with the hair, the aesthetics and everything is still spot on. Like nothing feels out of place. Now I know some people don't care for the mustache, but I get it. But in all honesty, with something like Nosferatu, you need facial hair. And you can't do a beard. A beard would be too much. Mustache, I think, was just right. Um, but yeah, I think this is what I like about this film too is the fact that it really feels like a more better remake of the silent film because the one from 79 it mixes in a lot of stuff, and I'll talk more about that when I review that one at some point. But like I said, what I like about this one, because I love his films, Eggers' films, and this is no exception. And I think what makes this one also stand out a bit more than his other films too is the fact that it is a remake of a story. And I think that does bring a lot more attention to it. Now, like I said, I get why some people may not like his stuff because it is a flavor, but it's a pretty low minority. I do recommend seeing this. And in all honesty, even though I watched the older two movies before this one, I really don't think anyone else should. Are the other two better than this one? I don't know. I could understand the silent film version because, in all honesty, the silent film version is beyond iconic. So out of that and the 79 one, I do probably recommend the silent film one a little bit more. The biggest issue with the 71 one, I'm not going to talk about it in this video because that would take a minute, but the 79 one is also a great film too. It really is. Um, but I think out of all of them, this one's probably my favorite, just because it feels the most. I feel like it does. I feel like it does the. It takes the trippiness of the other two, because the other two have trippiness in it too. Even the silent film one has a little bit, and it combines it with the right amount of conventionalism to so you can get the best of both, and that's what I like about this film. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It's really good. Like everything's spot on. The acting, the atmosphere, just everything's great. Like I don't know what else. It's just really solid. I mean, it's definitely a recommend if you love his films and horror films, or even if you just love those Nosferatu stuff. Now, you might not think it like, but I am curious on your guys' thoughts on it. What do you think of it? Like, I understand if some people don't like it. I get it because there is differences between those and the prior two ones, and it's not exactly, and his stuff isn't exactly the most subtle. So I get it, but I do think that there is a lot. I do think overall it's a good movie, but I am curious on your guys' thoughts on it, so feel free to share them. But yeah, in terms of more of these, I don't know what's the next movie I'm gonna watch. Well, I know Captain America: Brave New World's coming out next month, so I'll probably see that. So there'll probably be a video on that. Um, but yeah, outside of that, I'm not quite sure at the moment. We'll just have to see. But yeah, guys, outside of that, that's going to do it for this one here. Thanks for watching. In case you guys want to chat with anyone at the camping company, you don't want to use the YouTube comment section, we do have a couple options. First one is we have a Discord channel. You can find a link to that in about page / about section of our channel. We also have a community tab on our channel as well. You can access that anywhere at any time. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos, and have a good day.